News broke last night that Morant is undergoing a season-ending surgery to fix some labrum tear in his shoulder. The Grizzlies were just starting to get back into the flow of things, and they are 10-1 in their past 11 games with Ja. However, before that, they went 4-21, which is very worrying because the Grizzlies now fall back into this deep, dark hole where they really have nothing to do. In this video, I'm going to break down how this Morant injury happened, what the Grizzlies can do, and just the future of everything, the entire NBA. This affects so much in the NBA. Okay, let's just get right into it. So first off, how this injury happened. Morant was going for a layup in practice, and the footage is unfortunately not available yet, or fortunately, depends on how you see it. He was going for a layup in practice, and he landed weirdly on his shoulder. Now, his shoulder has been feeling sore for a while, and the Grizzlies are aware of this, but they just didn't do anything because he said that wasn't that bad. He lands on his shoulder, and then the coming days, he landed on his shoulder on Saturday. It is currently Tuesday when I'm uploading this video, and Monday is when it was announced. So Sunday and Monday, he expressed discomfort. He got an MRI Monday evening, and that's when the Grizzlies found out that he has a labrum tear. Now, this is a very serious thing. I'm not a doctor myself, but there's probably a doctor on YouTube who's breaking all this down more deeply. But basically, he needs surgery. And that surgery means that his recovery time is going to be a few months, meaning that he is out for the rest of the 2023-24 NBA season. This is a brutal loss because they were just getting back into the swing of things, with Ja averaging 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists per game. That's right, 8 assists. He also just raised the skill level of everyone else on the team because Jaren Jackson Jr. went from averaging 15 points per game to averaging 23 points per game while Morant is in. Marcus Smart was also very much improving with Morant back in the lineup. He started averaging 2 steals per game instead of 1. And honestly, the Grizzlies were just a very good team in this short time period where Ja was back. So what's their move now? What do they do? Well, it's kind of complicated. The Grizzlies don't have much to trade away. Now, they always have the option of blowing it up. But why would you blow it up? Like, there's actually no reason to do that. Morant has basically never been injured before in his entire career, which leads to, I won't say uncertainty, but it leads to not wanting to trade the entire roster away. However, the Grizzlies do need to do something, and fast, because this team is obviously not going to contend for the playoffs this year. But the bad thing is that they don't have their own pick. So they need to trade for a win-now player. Now, what win-now players are available on the market? Basically no one. The only person that comes to my mind is Jordan Poole, and honestly, I do not think that that would be a good idea. Another person that comes to mind is Pascal Siakam, but I think if Ja is out and you already have someone like Jaren, they would trade for Pascal. So it's a very, very tough situation. And if you're the Grizzlies, you're really not sure what your next moves are. One thing that I think needs to be changed is the Grizzlies medical team, or at least the PR team needs to step up, because Desmond Bane was supposed to be out 2 to 3 weeks. Instead, that turned into 6 weeks because he got re-injured. That's a big fault on the medical team, and honestly, that's just embarrassing. Morant's shoulder soreness turned into an entire year of being out, and although you can't blame the medical team on this, he still practiced with that shoulder soreness, which is very worrying. Steven Adams was supposed to be out for 4 weeks at the start of this season. We later learned that it was for the entire season, and now we learned that it was actually for 2 years, and we're not sure if he's even going to come back. He might just retire. And there are tons of more examples, like Marcus Smart, who was supposed to be out for 1 week, but that turned into 4. And honestly, it's just very, very worrying. And you know what's even more worrying? The number of injuries that are happening in today's NBA, especially to young stars. I mean, last year we had LaMelo Ball get injured and be out for the entire season after about 30 games. This season, he got injured again. You have Lonzo, who's been out for the past 2.5, maybe 3 years by now. And now you have Ja Morant out for a season. Now, there are countless more examples of young players being injured in NBA history, like Derrick Rose in 2012. But honestly, it's just, there is a big number of players being injured. And now you're looking at people like Victor Wembanyama, like Chet Holmgren, who, Chet, by the way, missed the entire season last year. They are not big. They're not muscly like Ja Morant is, and it seems like they would be more likely to get injured than Ja. So you're looking at them and you're wondering, what will happen with them? The NBA needs to fix some things. No more back-to-backs, and that has been a very big concern for a lot of time. Back-to-backs put so much wear and tear on the player's body that they just can't do anything anymore, which is why the NBA needs to get rid of them. And of course, we remember what happened with Tyrese Haliburton, which was also last night. Now, there has not been an official diagnosis out, but he is expected to miss a few weeks, which is not good at all. I mean, Ja missed the first 25 games. Now he's missing the rest of the season. That means he's only had 9 games played. Honestly, you just need to pray for these NBA players. You've got to feel really bad for them. You also have people like Chris Paul who are injured. NBA injuries are getting out of hand. All right, bit of an update on the Tyrese Haliburton thing. It did not look good at all. Now, I know you guys are here for Ja Morant stuff, but he slipped and fell, did the splits, and he got carried by his teammates to the locker room. Look, I'm just going to run the clip.
Tyrese Haliburton being helped off before by his teammates.
Like, geez, that is the last thing that you want to see. All right, the Ja Morant situation is kind of dry, so I'm just going to be covering everything else that happened in the NBA last night in under 30 seconds. Chet Holmgren had a crazy game. In 3 quarters, he had 30 points on 80% shooting from 3 and the field. Meanwhile, Draymond Green announced that he was planning to retire until Adam Silver convinced him not to. Malik Beasley is shooting 47% from the 3, which is the best in the entire league. And the Warriors look like absolute garbage as always, and the Grizzlies look even more like garbage now. I'll see you guys in the next one.